We talk about, green commitment. You've already exceeded your green commitment. I mean, you talked about $25 billion, but you're close to 30. I mean, where do you go from here then?
We exceeded our target twice already. So the next step is obviously setting another target. But in the past, we talked about putting lending, green finance on our books. Going forward, we should also put more emphasis on how we help our customer to structure their financing in a manner that fulfill ESG requirements. And that actually would be a broader sense. It's not just financing, for example, green real estate, renewable energy, water, but we also want to advise, and in particular, a lot of the SMEs. I think that is important because in Singapore, so to speak, SMEs employee base is like 70% of the workforce. And if the SME can get the act together, and they are very important in the supply chain, I think that helps the overall greening of the business, of the community, of the environment. And we set up a sustainability finance framework for SME last year, and by now we have already banked with 200 SMEs. So they just need to fulfill the criteria without having to go through the certification.
ESG compliance, that really is the issue because there are no standards out there. How do you ensure that the fund goes into projects that are really green and that you're not just greenwashing?
Definitely. I think the first thing is when you identify a project, what exactly is it doing? When you said it's related to green, obviously there are targets, and then you have indeed annual, you will review and check that the processes are correctly used. And the process of, as we said, certification, right? And then what is the incentive when they say they do green, and if they can prove it, they get the incentive. We have something as simple as for the retail market, you can have a eco loan for your, renovation of your house. If you achieve a certain target, interest rate is lower. So where there is an incentive, I think you would attract more people would do that, and then would just overall spread this message, and then more people would thinking about themselves as well. What do I do day in, day out, not to create so much or emit so much carbon dioxide or even methane in that sense?
You have said that you will not fund new coal power plants. Have you made a commitment when that will begin, and what are the other initiatives after that?
That actually began in 2019, so no new financing. So those that we have committed, we'll let them gradually run off. So eventually it will all run off. Other thing is we put in equitable principles towards the end of 2019, 2020, and then we are constantly looking at other policies that governments are bringing out. We are, our core markets, Greater China, Malaysia, we are engaged with the regulator in Malaysia. We're talking about a lot more about what the bank should be doing in order to fulfill, ESG and help our customers as well. So we just published our first TCFD report in October. We're now really measuring how we help our client, disclosing in a way how our composition of lending is like, and which part is regarding helping customers to go green.
One of the key topics here is disruptive technologies, and of course we have to bring in cryptocurrencies. Your views on that? I mean, a lot of wealth clients are looking to at least put some bit of the money into cryptocurrencies, I guess in a way securing the future investment. I mean, what's your view on that?
I have a pretty strict view on that. I'll call them crypto assets because it's an asset that people invest in and it has value. I wouldn't always call them
legit.
Yeah, I wouldn't call them currency because they're not legal tender. Yeah, then you can use it to pay. It's like exchange of it's a barter trade in a way. So it has value. So I look at it that way. And certain customers obviously want to have a different asset class that they can look at that carry some value. Yeah.
What are you most concerned about?
About crypto?
Yes.
I think it's whether it is safely handled, safely traded, the volatility, and if you are invested, there's always risk because of the volatility, and because of the blockchain technology. You say it is anonymous, but then in a way, it's not as safe as there is a register. There's a public market to traders. So I'm looking at crypto assets this way. But yes, I recognize that there are interest in it.
The central bank, the MAS, is keeping an open mind. We have your competitor, the likes of DBS, already having a digital exchange. You're taking a look at it. What way may you go?
We are looking at it, and seriously, there's some work being done in the bank. So in a way, we always want to address customers' needs. So if you said we're looking at it, it is very much in addressing customer needs, right? But in a safe manner. We want to help them to recognize the investment and how to handle it. But talking about it, crypto can always be linked to tokenization. It's linked to, as I said, blockchain. So the technology itself can be used in many other manners. So you can say that we are now working very much on a trade platform, right? How to ensure that the whole flow of trade is safe. So trade documents are well parked in an open, transparent, blockchain arrangement. I think these are all very important. It's just not used in an investment. Yeah.
In our last conversation, you were pretty excited about the opportunities in the Greater Bay Area. Talk to us about what you see and whether there are hiring plans to tap the market.
Yeah. You mentioned we work with Ping An Bank now. We started actually just last month. We're now in the Wealth Connect, both northbound and southbound. Early days, so can't comment too much, but we are quite hopeful. We see the relationship in being established, and we're introducing clients both ways. So that's one thing. But regarding wealth piece, it's actually important. We are, of course, strengthening our wealth team in Hong Kong, in Wing Hang Bank, but we are also increasing our wealth business in onshore China. We have a bank there, so we're using that, but riding on the expertise of Bank of Singapore in the private banking side. So products, the way we deal with our clients, so that's something we're going to increase in China. But the offshore piece is still very important. We have, in general, double the size of our relationship managers covering Chinese clients over the previous 2 years, and we're going to double it again moving into 2023. And I think maybe I can quote just one example. Singapore onshore AUM from Chinese customers have tripled over the last 2 years.